Alright there geezers, Jules here from FGS, home of the Future Games Show, and welcome back to the Deep Cut with Jules Gill, baby! Now listen up my friend, I'm not going to be wasting your time with a drawn out intro today because hot dang if that isn't the vibe of today's video. However, just to give you a bit of context, much like my sex life and your actual life when playing a game of Buckaroo but it's just stuffing forks into electrical sockets, some video games can be over in seconds, and so I'm here to showcase my wares like some oily goblin merchant. Now, this video is listed as a more video, meaning it's a sequel to another list that we did here on the channel that, shock horror, was not a deep cut episode, so it wasn't filled with obscure video games. I know, I feel dirty. So that's why I'm here today, to rectify this with tons of titles you've not heard about, need to know more about, or just haven't thought about in a long old while. So let's get on with it, as I'm Jules, this is FGS, and these are 8 more video games you can finish in seconds. And yes, I still did manage to find a way to make that intro pretty lengthy. Hee hee hee, ain't I a stinker? Anyway, let's talk about number 8, Astalon, Tears of Earth. Okay, my friends, quick poll. Who likes Dark Souls? Okay, that's a fair number of you. Okay, who likes roguelikes? Oh man, that's a lot, and especially big ups to the guy at the back there, double fist in the air. Good on you, mate. Now, final question, who also likes Castlevania? Well, now don't worry if you don't have 3 hands, as I'll also allow bonus to be included, which is about to happen to all of you, because what if I told you there's a game that combines all of these 3 things? Well, hello there, General Kenobi.
Hello there.
Say hello to Astalon, Tears of the Earth, a cutesy retro throwback that acts as a heady cocktail of Metroidvania exploration and monster battling, bonfire-related respawning which kicks you all the way back to the start of the entire game world, and character upgrades that can only be purchased on death. Chuck in a brilliant soundtrack and a wicked party swap system that sees you switching heroes to overcome different challenges, and you have both a love letter to the genre, but also a title which moves the needle significantly in how to make a bloody great game. However, if for some reason you've little interest in exploring the riches of Astalon and uncovering its surprisingly deep and oftentimes hilarious narrative, you can just say, well, nuts to this dweebs, I'm out of here. As soon as the player is given control of Arias, you can choose to head back to the start of the cave you just entered and abandon your friends to a fate far worse than death. Sure, it's entirely out of character for a fella who's just proudly announced that he wants to follow in his father's footsteps, and sure, the world outside is in a radiated wasteland where people are dying like flies, but you know what? It was pretty embarrassing for him just now when he pulled a heroic pose and his mates just dumped on him. They just basically was just like, oh, no selling that, mate. You're on your own now you look silly. Well, you know what? Screw them. How'd you like them apples, you chumps? Make me look like a fool, standing there posing like an idiot. God, I'm better off without them anyway. Ah, well, at least I'm outside of that cave and can breathe in all of that beautiful, toxic air. Number 7, Sorcerer from 1984. Okay, my friends, it's time to hop back into my egg-shaped time machine and travel back to an age before graphics were even a thing. That's right, my dude, it's time to hit up some text-based adventuring this week. Woo! And we're starting things off by looking at the 1984 title, Sorcerer. What's that, Mark? You can just show footage of the gameplay and I don't need to travel back in time, right? Well, why didn't you tell me that before, brother? I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, I woke my dad up at 5 to get the keys to the lockup to get this out of here, and I definitely scratched his patio furniture getting this out. And you're telling me now it's a waste of my time? Why don't I just use this, travel back in time, so you can tell me before this happened? Which you won't do because that's not how time travel works. Anyway, right, let's just get on with it. Right, so this, my friends, is Sorcerer, a sequel to another text-based adventure game known as Enchanter, and never has a set of video game names been more apt, as this pair both enchanted and put a spell on the gaming massif with its wonderfully rich world building and descriptions. That being said, these games are balls to the walls hard and will routinely punish you for making mistakes, even if their obtuse nature means that making a mistake can be read as turning the wrong way. I mean, hell, the game even punishes you for playing the game right, as if you tried to take a shortcut in the opening section, you'll actually be fast-tracking your way to the worst ending of the game. You see, Sorcerer begins with your character trapped in a mysterious wood being chased by a hellhound whose only goal is to play fetch with your kidneys. So, as you might expect, panic is on the menu and you're a hungry, hungry boy. After trying to avoid the hellhound for a while, the game then reveals that this was all but a dream, and this kickstarts your adventure as you look into the meaning and solution of your horrible nightmare. Now, if you're a savvy gamer, you might think to yourself on a subsequent playthrough, well, why don't I just wake up and skip this bit? Which most definitely is an option. It's just a shame that, much like in real life, that reality is far often much more rubbish than your dreams. Like mine, for example, where I dreamed that Dynasty Warriors has not been on a significant downturn for the last couple of years. Seriously, Dynasty Warriors, 9 Empires? Garbage! Hot garbage! Ooh, I'll still drink from the sack though, because I'm an addict. Still, if you type wake up, you will rise from your bed, go shopping with your mate, and then find out, uh-oh, all of your friends are dead and evil has won. I'm not entirely sure how this has happened because of you waking up 2 minutes earlier than normal, but that's Sorcerer for you. It doesn't need to conform to any logic but its own, and trust me, it's utterly mad sometimes. Still, you've technically finished the game in under a minute. Sick. Number 6, Uncanny Valley. Okay, my friends, settle in for this one because it's a bit of a treat here, because I'm going to tell you not just about a video game that not many people have played at all and is definitely hovering around the toilet bowl of obscurity waiting to be flushed, but it's also a title that I provided a voice for. This, my friends, is Uncanny Valley, an indie horror game in which you play as the new security guard tasked with looking after a creepy science facility located in the middle of absolutely nowhere. And wouldn't you guess it, things go wrong pretty bloody quickly. From mannequins springing to life, blood-stained labs, and a genuinely creepy tone throughout, there's a lot to nope out on this experience, especially if you include my attempt at an American accent.
That's very nice to hear. And do you have any dislikes?
Yes.
Listen guys, it was my first actual gig and I was told to do it like that. Now I'm clearly much better at it. Look, I'll give you an example. Yeehaw, partner! Where are you going, dude? F it. Still, if you don't fancy any of this or this, you can just hop back in your car and drive off to a life free of horrible science being utterly horrible, which, to be honest, sounds like a very smart choice indeed. Although, to be fair, you will be missing out on a pretty nice game. And speaking of smart choices, why don't you make the smart choice and subscribe to the FGS YouTube channel. We make daily gaming content for you lovely, lovely people and have a ton of unique show formats for you as well, including the Deep Cut with Jules Gill, baby. We've got Discover Something New and also Nathan's Soapbox as well. So come check us all out, become part of the collective, the family, the gang? I don't want to give gang vibes, you know what I mean? I don't want to be like shut down in the future by saying that. But still, you know what I'm saying? Just come and be part of the fun. That's what I should have said probably. Subscribe to the FGS YouTube channel. I'm moving on. Number 5, Yes, Your Grace. Now, as we all know, there are some video games out there that let players act in ways that one might term being an utter and some even reward this brand of rotten behaviour. However, when it comes to medieval monarchy simulator Yes, Your Grace, being a phallus isn't just an option, it's a bloody requirement, with you choosing to be which brand of that you want to be. From demanding tithes every Tuesday to belittling your subjects, every choice presented in Yes, Your Grace is oozing with what one could term as papers pleaseisms, in that every action will hurt something or someone, so it's all just about mitigating damage or maximising it for your own gain. Now, during the tutorial, you're informed that there are some enemies at the gate, and instead of putting on your favourite 3 Inches of Blood album and then trying to enact Helm's Deep from Wish.com, you can instead opt to surrender. Yes, that's right, when facing down the hordes of barbarians, you can opt to pull out a white flag instead of your sword, leading to an ending in which all of your kingdom is ransacked, you're murdered, and your name is spoken with vitriol by the survivors and forgotten to time thereafter. Good going! It actually takes some effort to be this bad at your job. Nice. Number 4, The Wizard of Oz. I tell you what, gang, I'm absolutely spoiling you today as I've got another text-based video game to talk about. Woo! And by spoil, I mean that in a actual sense, because I'm sure you just love looking at walls of text with no animation whatsoever. Woo! Woo! But let's just cut to the chase and talk about the Wizard of Oz text game that dropped back in 1985 and how this bad boy actually had some honest-to-God visual stimuli. Take that, Sorcerer! Couldn't pull that one out of your wizard sleeve, could ya? I mean, yeah, the graphics look about as appealing as the Philips CDI Legend of Zelda games, and Dorothy definitely looks like she's had her jaw knocked off by Nick Bruiser from Punch-Out, but still, graphics! We got them! Although, to be fair, I don't like how the Scarecrow is looking at me right now, so let's just cut to the chase and get the heck out of here by typing click heels in the command box as soon as you get those ruby slippers, and boom, you'll be out, done and dusted with this game, and just in time to be part of the cleanup crew for the tornado that's just gone through your hometown and ruined everything. On second thoughts, I'd rather go back to bed. Number 3, Soul Nomad and the World Eaters. Okay, my friends, hands up, and I will not, I repeat, will not lie to you. Yay! This next entry is a little bit of a cheat, because while it is an ending you can get far quicker than the main story ever would, it's one that's triggered during the first boss battle, which is minutes into the gameplay, not seconds. I know, I'm terrible, I'm the worst, I'm so bad to the bone that it's almost kind of cool, but please go easy on me because I know that you'll want to see this relatively quick ending in this deep cut classic that is Soul Nomad and the World Eaters. Now for those not in the know, Soul Nomad and the World Eaters is an RPG infused with utter insanity, from its bonkers plot and characters, over-the-top enemy design and voice acting that is speaking with both a mouthful of ham and masticated scenery. This is a title that takes no prisoners, and an example of this can be found early on in the game's first boss, which totally and utterly kicks your ass, to the point that it straight up kills you. That's gonna put a dent in the adventuring and the pride, isn't it? Well, luckily, and read that with heavy quotation marks around that, Gig, the all-time evil big bad and all-around edgelord, is here to offer you a deal. He states that if you give him access to your body, you'll get his power, but makes it quick to mention that he'll stay in control after, so it's probably not in your best interest long-term. However, if you are the impatient sort, you can agree to his terms, net 2,000 level ups that he offers, and then batter the first boss into oblivion, which, to be honest, feels pretty bloody good. Less so is when he takes over your body and the game kicks you out to a game over screen, but still, it was fun while it lasted.
Silence gives consent, they say.
And yes, to those in the audience thinking that Gig sounds familiar, that is indeed Yuri Lowenthal, and yes, it does make that line about consent even creepier. Ew. Ew, no thank you, Spider-Man. Ew. Number 2, Arcade Spirits. Now here's the thing, gang. We've all worked jobs we've utterly hated or found completely soul-crushing to the spirit. For me, it was working in a Burger King when I was 16, as despite the people that I worked with being nice, somebody clicking their fingers in my face, calling me stupid and then throwing half their food on the floor before attempting to slip on it and claim compensation, really did put it into my mind that maybe there was a job that was better suited to my talents. Yeah, it was grim. P.S. Shout out to the fast food workers. I know your pain. Therefore, when a video game comes along and offers you a dream job, which in the case of Arcade Spirits is working in an actual arcade, and where you might also find true love, it is in your best interests to take that plunge. Or you could say no to the dream job by deleting the app your friend urged you to download and go on to live a safe, predictable, boring life. I mean, it's an option, but it's definitely the worst option. Video games, where you can escape the humdrum of your real life by saying no to all the fun things the medium is built around. Yay! And number 1, Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire. Now I know there might be some absolute chads of the keyboarding world who might immediately jump down my hairy mouth for putting Pillars of Eternity 2 on a deep cut episode because it is a rightly well known and pretty well respected title. However, Columbo turn for effect, I definitely think more people need to be made aware of this franchise because, to be honest, the room is looking a little less well, filled with bloody oxygen since Baldur's Gate 3 came along and took everyone's breath away. So yeah, I'm gonna champion this game. And screw it, you know what? I'm just gonna mention Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader as well, because you know what? If you like Baldur's Gate 3, you would love these games. And hell, Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire even lets you be turned into a cat. Well, technically, it's getting turned into a cat, and it's the bad ending of the experience, but who the hell cares about the technical stuff, right? So yeah, it turns out that when you're asked by a pseudo-god to join their cause, turning them down immediately is going to have some repercussions. And in this case, you're going to be turned into their pet cat while they go on and search for a more fitting hero. To be fair though, it did sound like a lot of work, and the description of your new furry clawed life doesn't actually seem all that bad. Plus, you've actually just saved yourself tons of hours of sweaty fighting and party management, so you can just chill out and sleep away the day. How is this the rubbish ending, I tell you? It sounds bloody ideal. And there we go, my friends. Those were 8 more video games you can finish in seconds. I hope that you enjoyed that, and let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below. And if you want to follow me on the social medias, you can do so over here, and you can follow my lovely editor Mark over here on his social medias as well. How's about that, my friend? But you know what? Before I go, I just want to say one thing. We spoke today about video games you can finish in seconds, so why don't you just take a second? Well, why not take a minute? Hell, why not even take 5 minutes at least every single day to just chill out and allow yourself to relax, my friend. Sometimes going into a problem quickly isn't actually the best solution to that problem. It's taking that time to get a bit of perspective, to look at things with fresh eyes, to sometimes realize that maybe you need to ask for help or go about it in a different way. Either way, give yourself that break, that chance to rest, because trust me, it's seriously important, all right? And while you're doing it, be kind to yourself in that little break as well, or I'll be round. I'll be round there to see if you want to go for a pint down the road. Whatever, chill out, man. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that, you big ledge. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye.